Hello, Knie video. Today we're going to take a look at Toxapex in the Great League here. We're going to take a look at this team. We're going to have a double dark team here, which is something that you kinda know already from other poison types like Nidoqueen. Sableye is a safe swap. We have the Skarmory in the back, and let's see how this is gonna go. There's one core breaker for this team, but yeah, this is, I mean, it's not always an issue, which is going to be the Skarmory. Skarmory in the lead would be able to beat the Toxapex, but also would be able to beat the Skarmory in the back. But Toxapex is cool. Toxapex is very bulky, and Toxapex has the option to go for Brine for like some neutral damage or like super effective damage here. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does some damage against even their hardest counters, which is nice. I actually think that Brine might be an upgrade towards what we had before, which was the Muddy Water. Really, of course, it depends on the situation, but against like something where you really get hard-walled for the poison typing, you're still gonna do way more damage with this instead of Muddy Water. Even though Brine is still, of course, a horrible move, it still functions pretty well in this Pokemon. This Pokemon itself was really decent. I really like this team as well. Definitely works out really well. I just played horrible a lot of times. Yeah, I just played some very horrible games a lot of times when I played this team. But this is on me and not really on the team. I can highly recommend you this team. You can try it out, definitely. Even against like Skarmory, you will be able to have some play with the Skarmory in the back with like Power Punch. I think you can actually Power Punch it down in the 2-shield scenario, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we see a Jumpluff here. Shadow Jumpluff does some hard-hitting damage, of course, but not enough to really threaten our Toxapex, as we can easily tank 2 of those moves here, which I don't think a lot of Pokemon can, but Toxapex just going to town here can go for another Brine, and it should be able to knock out this Pokemon as well. Hopefully, yeah, it does, and we have still 1 shield left. We have a Stunfisk against us. They throw a move for whatever reason, and we can just shield it up and farm it down. Good game to my opponent. Well played there. We see the next opponent here. Kanto Green, we see a Stunfisk in the lead. We're going to swap out immediately into our Sableye, as this is our safe swap, and we see a Trevenant coming in. I don't know why people safe swap Trevenant against the Sableye. It's a pretty mediocre matchup for them, to be honest. They must be double weak to me in the back, I guess, but I'm not sure, because we're gonna get 1 shield here. We're gonna get a 2nd shield here as well, I guess. And 2 shields up with one, what's called, with my Skarmory in the back. And also, with switch advantage here will be very nice, as we can just go ahead and go into our Skarmory. They go into their Stunfisk because they know they would beat my first Pokemon, but they didn't beat their second Pokemon. And we see the Altaria coming in here. Altaria is a very neutral matchup actually for the Toxapex. It's kind of awkward here because you are getting a lot of damage from the Dragon Breath. Toxapex has an insane defense stat, but not the greatest HP stat, which makes it a little bit awkward sometimes against those 1-turn fast moves. As you can see here, they can farm us down in the 0-shield scenario. I just go for Power Punch because why not? It literally doesn't matter here. I can just farm down everything. As far as I know, at least. Let's see, we see the Rock Slide coming through. Very nice bait there. We can go for 1 foul play. And this should seal the deal here. We'll be able to not knock out the Stunfisk yet, but with 1 counter, we'll be able to, and they just decide to surrender as we face the next opponent. Skarmory in the lead. Here you go. This is most likely the hardest war for the lead and my Pokemon in the back, but it is not too bad. We can still go for some foul plays here with our Sableye. And we will be able to do some pretty decent damage here. We see the Sky Tech coming through. We see a Surf Edge coming in here as well. And I already know what they have in the back at this point of time. And I already know that I'm going to lose this game here. They just have a perfect hard wall for my entire team. They are going to have the Medicham in the back. If you see like this kind of combination here between them, between the fighter Surf-Edged and also the lead of the Skarmory, it's usually a Medicham in the back, which is a very decent team, to be honest. It's a very good team. I definitely like it. I think it's a decent one, especially as Surf-Edge going to be able to beat something like the Sableye in, I think, nearly every shield scenario, which is kind of crazy. We will be able to go for 1 foul play here, still going to try to get the final shield, but it's going to not really work out too good for us as they go for 1 Ice Punch. I'm going to go for the bait here, trying to get the final shield here, which we're most likely going to be able to get. But at this point of time, I already am so low in terms of health, I cannot really shield this move here. They're going to go for 1 charge move. I'm going to have to try to farm them down, but this is going to look a little bit tough. We see the Ice Band coming through. We're going to see that they are just farming us down. If we farmed them down, I think we might have been able to still win this game, but this was just a hard wall. This just happens, and we can just maybe hard wall the next opponent. Here is the thing. I don't like Sableye save swaps against this team. You think my own Sableye would be neutral, the Scrafty would be also pretty decent, but actually, like, Scrafty can lose against Sableye just because when return hits and some more Shadow Claw damage comes in, it's pretty awkward, not gonna lie. And my own Sableye would be in an energy disadvantage if I swap in immediately. So I kinda am forced to stay in, and I kinda forced to throw one charge move, hope that they throw their charge move, and then swap out into my Sableye. But at least I can still return in this Azumarill, and I can go ahead and go into my Toxapex again. I would guess that they have a Marowak in the back, and they do have a Marowak in the back. This team should still work out pretty well, by the way, from the opponent. Shadow Marowak is still kind of fun in this current meta. Not as good anymore because you see a lot of Altaria, but you also see a lot of Medicham, so it's not as bad either. We can go ahead and go into our Scrafty now, as we can now align our Pokemon perfectly. They go for one Shadowball, still does more damage than I thought it would do. We can go for one more charge move here, will do, and get the shield here, which is very nice, but I'm not sure. One Shadowball now will knock me out already, even though it's resisted. Let's see, it's the Shadowball coming through. It doesn't knock me out, and we get to the move here. I don't know if we're actually supposed to get to the move there. Their fire spin damage, I think they would have KO'd me with that one. I don't think it would have mattered because I would have been able to go for one move here, and I will be able to just tank all the moves from the Azumarill anyway. But yeah, Toxapex is just an insane wall for Azumarill. Like, there's literally nothing that they can do. I think you would be just able to farm them all the way down from the get-go. And I think we face the same team back to back here, which is kind of hilarious. We see the Sableye coming in, and this time around we swap into our Scrafty to catch the return. Of course we catch the wrong move, because why not? Ah man, like, why not go for the stab move? I'm not sure there, but very nice play from my opponent. Now they're going to get a shield from me with the next return, and I will be able to still realign my Pokemon, but it's going to be a little bit tough. But they're most likely going to have either something like the Trevenant or something like the the Trevenant or the Lone Marowak in the back. We have the Trevenant this time around. And I'm just going to shield up immediately. Maybe they go for the Shadow Ball straight, and they go for the Shadow Ball straight, which is really good for me because now I wasted a ton of energy from them. I will be able to knock them out. They're actually going to let this move go through, getting basically all the shields for the Azumarill. I'm not sure if this was the play. They can knock me out here, but now we can take a look at the Toxapex matchup against Azumarill in the 2 shield with 0 shield. We have not a lot of HP left, like we're still at around half of our HP, but we can just go for some brine damage here. I think they're going to shield up everything anyway, and I'm pretty sure I even get to 2 moves before they go down, and I do, and I will be able to win this game because they literally do no damage against me. Like, it's insane. They have 2 shields advantage here, and basically the same amount of HP, and they cannot do anything about it. They're just going to let go the brine there, and we will be able to win the game. Something a little bit worse going to be the Swampert here. Swampert will need to go down by my Sableye, hopefully. But they're going to go for one charge move. I'm going to shield up, and they're going to not swap out, actually, which is something that you rarely see. Usually they just throw one charge move, swap out into most likely their own Sableye or their Skarmory or anything like this. And this would be then it, but they're actually going to stay in here. I will be able to get the final shield by them as well now. And I will be able to get them low enough that I can counter them down, I think, with my Scrafty, which will give me some energy advantage, especially as they go for one Earthquake here. But we will see that they have a Talonflame in the back, and we will see a Registeel in the back. We basically got hardwalled. Like, there was nothing we can do here. Like, from the get-go, we just got hardwalled. Interesting team. I'm not sure if this team really does make too much sense. It's okay, I guess. Really weird team though from the opponent, something that you don't really see. It's like not really that organized, but I guess it worked. I'm going to shield up this move here from this mage. I'm going to be a Psychic. I can go ahead and go for one Sludge Wave, which they catch perfectly into the Drapion. I threw it a complete random time, but of course my opponent can catch it perfectly. That's how the game goes. But I don't really mind it too much because they're going to go for one Awkward Tail here. I can go for a Power Punch, and I will be able to just farm this thing down. And I will be able to get some extra energy here, so I can throw some Charge Boosts, which most likely go basically into a Void anyway. But it should be fine here, as we're going to see that the Medicham comes back in. I will be able to go for one Foul Play here, but I don't think they're going to shield this move up, because it's not going to hurt too much. And I don't get to another move, so Good game there. We're going to be able to go into our Sableye though, because this will be able to tank the Psychic, which is funny. And we see a Noctowl coming in. Noctowl with a shield advantage against my Toxapex, which has even a lower HP stat than them right now. Interesting matchup here for sure. We will see that the Sky Attack going to do basically nothing. It's literally just the Poison type Bastiodon. It's insane. It's just so bulky. We're still going to shield up the next move here because it's neutral. We can go for another Brine. Brine will be able to get the final shield from them, and they're going to try to farm up extra because they know that I have still my Sableye in the back. Didn't work out for them. We can go for one Sludge Wave, and we will be able to win this matchup against the Noctowl with a shield disadvantage and with a health disadvantage. This is how strong Toxapex is in neutral matchups. The issue just with Toxapex is the one-turn fast move opponents also like a Lickitung. There is some breakpoint for the Lickitung, by the way, which you can hit with if you have like a little bit higher attack investment with your Toxapex. That makes this matchup way better for you. But yeah, I don't have that with my one. My one is definitely, I think, too defensive for this, but yeah. We see here the Lickitung coming in. Sadly, we don't get really to another move here. We go actually into our Toxapex instead of the Scrafty. Seems weird against like the Lickitung there. But I know that I don't really have a good matchup with my Toxapex against the Swampert, so I kind of wanted to just waste the energy of the opponent. But sadly it didn't throw, and now we are in a spot where we can farm down the Swampert, but it's going to be a little bit of a tough one still to come back from this game. We will be able to go for another shield here. It's going to be a Hydro Cannon, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to hit me just with a 1 there. If we just got the few more damage in there, we would have been able to just tank this one, and I'm pretty sure we would have been able to win this one pretty easily. As we will see here that they are going to shield this move up because they are really weak to me in the back, as they have the Stunfisk there, and I think if I stayed in for one more counter there, I might have been fine as well. Because I will be able to go for 2 Brines, but the Brines will not do enough damage. I don't think even one more counter would have done enough damage to KO them. You sadly need 3 Brines to KO 1 Stunfisk here. We just don't do enough damage with it. But yeah, I needed 2 more counters, I think, to KO this thing there, which happens, but it is okay. We sadly will not be able to win this game anymore, but it's fine. Next opponent, we will see Toxapex against Altaria. Pretty decent lead. Again, it's the same scenario as we had prior already. It's a little bit tough to deal with a one-turn fast moves, but it's still going to be okay. We see the Sky Attack coming through, which means we can just go for one Sludge Wave, see if they want to shield it up or not. They are going to shield it up, which means I kind of want to swap out into my Sableye. I know that they're going to get to the move here in time, but I kind of want to get this thing lower. We already put him into range for one foul play and everything else, but we also going to get out the Azumarill here, which is very good for me because Azumarill is exactly the Pokemon that I want to get out of here. Azumarill is something that I really need to answer with my Toxapex here. We see the Ice Beam coming through, which is fine for us because we can go for another return, get this thing low hopefully, and we will be able to get this thing into a range where we can easily farm it down with the Toxapex. I don't think we have to shield anything here. They go for one Play Rough, and I should be able to just farm all the way down. They go into Altaria, and I will be able to go for one Sludge Wave here. This Sludge Wave will not knock them out, but the fast move damage is going to knock them out. I have a 1 HP Toxapex, and I have my Scrafty now, which will be able to go to town as we see the Stunfisk coming in here, and there's nothing that they can do here anymore. Next opponent, having a Lantern in the lead. I make a mistake here. I should have stayed in. I didn't know that they have the water gun in the lead, like I expected Spark, so maybe against Lantern, maybe try to go for one fast move, see what fast move they have, and then decide to swap out. Because like this, we are in a little bit of an awkward spot. We see the Altaria coming in now, and we have basically the issue that we don't really have any answer for this thing. We can go for one foul play, we're going to get the shield back, but we sadly don't reach the next foul play in time. And they will be able to knock us out, and we can just hope that we can farm them down with our Toxapex, I guess. But if they have a decent answer against me in the back again, against my fighter, we have a very bad spot here. As we see that we can farm them all the way down, we see the Lantern coming back in. I would say, yep. And of course, they need some time to get to the Thunderbolt here. We're gonna get some nice damage on them. And we try to catch the move here, which didn't work out. I have to shield this move up now, which is going to be the Thunderbolt, and we will see that I can go ahead and go for one Brine here against the incoming Frostless. If I didn't go for the Brine here and they didn't catch the move, I had a way better chance of winning this game because I could have just went straight for foul play here. but also not really, to be honest. The thing here is they sadly outspeed me. I need 7 counters to get to 1 foul play and 6 for the second foul play. They need just 6 for every move basically and 5 for the third avalanche there. So we're basically in a spot where we are not being able to win anything here. Sadly, we can still go for 1 Brine here and we'll be able to knock it out. But against the incoming Lantern, we will not be able to outspeed this Pokemon sadly. So they're going to knock us out with 1 Thunderbolt most likely here. And we will not be able to go for even a Brine. So good game there. And we can go into the final one here. We will see the opponent having Toxapex against Altaria again. I hate this matchup, but we have to stay in here, of course. It's a very neutral one. It's just, yeah. They usually go for the shield in the beginning, I would say, because it's pretty clear that they're not going to bait your Altaria here. The difference between Surge and Brine in terms of energy is not as significant. And they're actually going to let this move go through, which means I should be able to survive it. I think I'm just going to swap out now. And I have my 1 HP Pokemon in the back now, which has a Brine. And this can come in handy later. Let's see if it comes in handy. We will see the Swampert coming in. We have some energy advantage here, which means I think we will be able to realign our Pokemon. We will be able to go for 1 foul play here as they go and shield this move up. We have to shield up their move now as well. But we will be able to knock them out, which is a very nice for us. And now we have basically 2 Pokemon, 1 Brine against 1 Pokemon and like a little bit. So we are pretty fine here. We see the Registeel coming in, and I think I kind of misplay this scenario entirely. We go for 1 foul play, which is all fine. Staying in here is all fine. Getting this thing low is all fine. But of course, they're going to be able to outspeed me now against my Scrafty, I think, for 1 move, and nearly knocks us out. And we should just went for 1 power punch. I have no idea why I didn't go for this. They nearly KO me here. They get the Dragon Breath through, which is going to hurt me a little bit more. And I'm at 1 HP. I will be able to knock them out, but they will be able to knock me out as well. And we will be able to go for the 1 HP Brine and win the final game here. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.